Welcome to Project Echo, NeoMed, Ohio Alliance. This video provides training for Spoke participants. Through the course of this video, we will explore what is Project Echo, how does Project Echo work, the anatomy of a Project Echo session, and final thoughts with Dr. Aurora.
Project Echo is a performance optimizer. Think of it as a high-speed internet connection for the healthcare system. It spreads new medical knowledge throughout the healthcare system, from university medical centers and other specialty care sites to the front lines of community care. Rather than information flowing in one direction, community providers learn from specialists. They learn from each other, and specialists learn from community providers as new best practices emerge. Under Echo, community providers use video technology to participate in guided practice with specialist mentors. They acquire new skills that allow them to treat patients they otherwise would have referred out. Patients with complex chronic conditions get high-quality care where they live from providers they know. No waiting months to see a specialist. No long drives back and forth to get critical care. Echo exponentially increases access to specialty care by moving knowledge instead of moving patients. Suffering and pain are reduced, and lives are improved and even saved. Project Echo, changing the world fast.
The Project Echo program includes didactic presentations by specialists on specific topics of interest and in-depth case-based presentations by community clinicians for feedback and recommendations. Clinicians are given access to evidence-based educational resources and are encouraged to express any suggestions, comments, or questions that they have regarding the session. An environment of group learning and best practice protocols is established that reduces variation of care and improves outcomes. Patients with chronic and complex diseases can receive treatment from local primary care clinicians. They avoid costly referrals at distant healthcare centers and gain the benefits of being treated in their own community. They are seen by healthcare clinicians they know and trust with the support of family and friends. Project Echo invites all interested healthcare clinicians to explore Project Echo. There is no cost to become a Project Echo partner, and there are many benefits. Join Project Echo and improve your community. Echo, extension for community healthcare outcomes. Let's dissect an Echo session so that you can know what to expect. It will open with introductions, guided by the facilitator. All participants will go around and introduce themselves. If you are new, it can be helpful to share not just your name, but what organization or clinic you are from. Announcements will be provided by either the facilitator or coordinator. The hub will provide a brief didactic on a specific topic or field of interest. You can refer to the curriculum guide for a schedule of topics. Patient case presentation is provided by the spokes. All spokes will receive a case presentation form prior to the session. This will help participants prepare a more complete case before the session. Let's look at what not to do and what to do in that case presentation.
Thanks for the opportunity to present this case. I have no idea what to do with this guy. So this is Juan Gomez, who is a 43-year-old male who's the manager at the Walgreens on the north. And he did have a below-the-knee amputation on the right about a year ago. And about a month ago. But he really comes because he's got low back pain, and I think that he really just wants drugs for it. Juan says he's pretty depressed, kind of a lazy guy, and he's not sleeping so good. He doesn't really kind of get out of the wheelchair when he came in, and so I couldn't do much of a physical. I don't want to give him any opiates, so what should I do to help him? Because he's clearly a drug user. So I appreciate your help, and I'm be delighted to answer any questions. Opportunity to present this case. I'm hoping you guys can help me figure out what the diagnosis is and where to go from here. This is Echo ID number 14665, who's a 43-year-old widowed male with a history of about 1.5 years of depressed mood after his wife died. At the same time, he's experienced anhedonia. He has pretty poor sleep. He spends about 12 hours in bed, but he says that at times he does have a fleeting and a passive suicidal ideation. And he reports that the first time he ever had more than 2 weeks of a depressed mood was when he was 20 years old, and he had another one when he was 32. He does say that he is kind of generally an anxious person. And it has been all of his. For alcohol, these days he considers himself a non-drinker, said he last had anything to drink about. He does use cannabis and uses that on a daily basis. My question really for the group is, can you help with clarifying the diagnosis? And I'd really like to help this guy out.
Let's review things to include and not to include in the case presentation. Things not to include in a case presentation: the name of patient, where they work. Avoid presenting any negative impression of patient. That includes critical body language. Don't make demeaning comments. Avoid an incomplete diagnosis. You want everyone to get an accurate and complete picture. Remember, no protected health information. Things to include in case presentation: be sure to have questions for the ECHO group. Use the ECHO ID. Focus on the chief complaint or concern. And be sure to provide relevant clinical information and data needed to understand case. This will vary among ECHO programs. After your case presentation, be prepared to have questions from the spokes and hub to clarify things about your case. Recommendations from the spokes. Recommendations from the hub. Finally, you will receive the hub summarized recommendations. Don't worry about writing anything down. The recommendations will be provided in writing to the case presenter. We want everyone to stay engaged and participating without distractions. If there is time, there may be other spokes providing a case presentation. Then closing remarks will wrap things up. Current Project ECHO programs available through NeoMed Ohio Alliance. Integrated Care at NeoMed. For more information, email integratedcareecho@neomed.edu. Ohio Opiate offers 2 ECHO programs: Ohio Opiate Mentorship and Ohio Opiate Continuing Education. For more information, email opiateecho@neomed.edu. First episode, Psychosis. For more information, email psychosis.team@neomed.edu. SZ Consult. For more information, email szconsult@neomed.edu. And now let's hear some final thoughts from Dr. Arora.
2 things struck me reading about ECHO. I like this idea of the efficacy, to use that word that you use a lot in your paperwork, of those rural providers. You're actually taking those people and their associated staff to a completely other level, where they're able to then, at some point, if I'm following the plan correctly, they can actually start to fill in some of those blanks from the things they have learned through the course of this, and are much better advocates for their patients down in those areas. Am I correct in that as well?
Yeah, absolutely, Gene. We couldn't do that just by giving them a fish every day. We are trying to teach them to fish. So what we found, as these knowledge networks continue week after week, another phenomenon kicks in. We call it a learning loop. That they learn from us, they learn from each other, they learn from our didactic presentations, they learn by doing, and very rapidly 2 things happen. The first is they gain enormous self-efficacy. They say, I can do this and I can do a really good job. That is essential ingredient to do something complex successfully. The second thing that happens is they really become experts. This is what a Project ECHO clinic looks like. This is not telemedicine where we take care of patients. These are primary care clinicians here on the side. In the large box is University of New Mexico, where there's a liver specialist, a psychiatrist, pharmacologist, a brief didactic presentation on some aspect of hepatitis C that we think we would like them to become experts on. What we find is, as we do this, these primary care providers become experts very quickly. From their own patients, they present 1 or 2, but they learn on 12 every week. They learn from each other. They learn from our short presentations, but mostly they learn by doing. It's like if you wanted to teach your daughter to drive a car, you wouldn't just give her a manual and say, okay, now go do it. You're going to do what we do. You're going to do guided practice. You're going to mentor her through this process.
Please take a moment to review the video teleconferencing quick guide. Please take a moment to review video teleconferencing etiquette tips, or watch the brief video on video teleconferencing etiquette. Thank you.